Alright, what's happening, y'all, man? It's your boy Rico from Street Scores, and it looks like the next stadium will be in Virginia. We know exactly where the location will be. We know what the stadium should look like based on this picture, and we're going to break that down. We also have details that were reported, and it came out like a few months ago about what's going to be in and around the stadium. Will it have a roof? All of that type of stuff. It's supposed to be a mini city, so they're talking shops, they're talking about movie theaters, everything. We got to talk about all of that, and of course we got to talk about the fact that it's going to be in Virginia. We're going from Prince George's County to Prince William County. I'm not exactly sure what the correlation is there, but I'm gonna break down all of the details and what this $100 million was specifically spent on. And then we also got to talk about Dan Snyder, because I know some of y'all have been seeing some of this recent Dan Snyder news and why this may actually be the final straw, and he may be on the way out. And the reason I wanted to add it to this stadium video is because Dan Snyder may not make it to the next stadium. By the time this stadium is built, Dan Snyder may no longer be our team owner. And of course, I got to break down all of the details and reports coming from that Dan Snyder situation as well. So we're going to talk about the stadium, where it is, what it should look like, what it should have. Then we're going to talk about Dan Snyder afterwards. And I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all in the comment sections are going to debate whether it's better in Maryland or Virginia or DC. So that's going to be really funny. I'm going to definitely tune in for that. But before we dive into all of that, make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the bell next to the subscription button so you get a notification immediately. And every time I release an informative and opinionated video just like this one. Also, make sure you check out all the rest of the content coming out. I'm working on film sessions. I want to come out with at least one today, especially for the channel members. So if you're not a channel member, go become one, because I'm definitely getting one done for y'all. I'm working on some that I get out to the general public. Also, like I said in my last video, I'm working on some live streams. I want to do a draft review live stream, and also an overall checkup on the new name, new logo, new jerseys, new helmets, all of that type of stuff. How we feeling a few months later? How are we feeling about it? Do we like it more? Has it grown on us a little, or do we still hate it? All of that type of stuff. And I'm gonna open up the phone lines for both of those live streams for y'all to call in, because y'all already know my general opinions about things. And of course, people can ask me during the live stream, but both of those live streams are mainly to get y'all's opinions on everything. So make sure y'all pull up all of that. Let's go ahead and get into this video. Let's get it. Alright, so started from John Keim, the first to report it. He says source: Commander spent $100 million on Virginia land. New stadium site, question mark? And then Sam Fortier tweeted out and was a little bit more specific with it. He said the Washington Commanders recently spent $100 million to acquire about 200 acres in Prince William County as a potential site for the new stadium. And he also credited John Keim coming out with it first. And then when you go to John Keim's article, he's just talking about, he says the Washington Commanders paid more than $100 million for land in Virginia, a possible next step in building a new stadium, as well as numerous retail shops, restaurants, and apartments. According to a source with knowledge to the purchase, the Commanders paid a little more than $100 million for approximately 200 acres. The deal was completed last week, but has not yet been filed with Prince William County, the site of the land. One source called it the team's preferred site for a new stadium, but other options remain open. There's the chance the franchise will buy another 65 to 70 acres at that same site that is approximately 23 miles from Washington, D.C. and would be right off the exit on I-95 in Dumfries, Virginia. It would be approximately 80 miles from Richmond. And I had to make sure I looked up the pronunciation of Dumfries, because I remember y'all got on my head for pronouncing that one Maryland city, Potomac. Yeah, it just looked like Potomac. I don't know. I mean, I just never heard anybody say it out loud. So I made sure, I researched, I looked it up. I literally went to YouTube and was like, how do you pronounce Dumfries, Virginia? And it said it for me. I hope it's right. I'm definitely hoping I'm right. This time y'all can be mad at YouTube and not me this time. Well, apparently it's looking like it's actually Woodbridge instead of Dumfries. So I spent all that time trying to figure out how to pronounce it, and it's actually Woodbridge instead of Dumfries. And JP Finlay also cleared up the fact that they used the term procured land, so it's not even officially bought, nothing set in stone. But that's really interesting. Woodbridge instead of Dumfries. And John Keim also went on to say the Commanders like the site because of how it can be developed. According to a source, their plans include a 60,000 seat dome stadium so it can be used throughout the year, as well as the team's practice facility, an amphitheater that seats between 15 to 20,000, a small indoor music arena, high-end retail shops, bars, restaurants, and residential living. The roof would be translucent and the stadium's facade would change colors. It would be white during the day and, for example, burgundy at night. That's crazy. That's beautiful. I'm gonna have to get out to Virginia for that one. You know how much more likely I will be to go to some home games with a setup like that? And the roof. I'm one of those people. I'm not the believer in be in the elements. You gotta play football old school. If it snows, we gotta be out there as fans no matter what, and the teams need to adjust accordingly. Nah, if it's below 50 degrees, I'm not coming. Unless it's like the Super Bowl, maybe the playoffs, I'm not coming. Even then, if it's a Super Bowl and my Washington Commanders are not in it, you couldn't pay me to go sit in 20-degree weather for an entire game. It's just not, I'm just not that type of person. I have the Mercedes-Benz Stadium down here in Atlanta. It's perfectly comfortable. When the weather's bad, you close it up and have the perfectly suitable weather conditions. If it's not raining, if it's the perfect temperature, if it's not crazy humid, retractable roof, open it up. And even before they built the Mercedes-Benz Stadium, like I'm not going to a game with inclement weather. I'm just not. Crazy rain, crazy snow, crazy heat. You lost me. I'm sorry. I prefer to sit at home and watch games anyway, where I can eat everything I want. I can't have chicken Alfredo and fried chicken for under $200 at a stadium. They be having airport Disney World prices over there. Whereas I can go get some wings at my local wing spot for about $10 and sit down at home and chill. But I understand why people love going to games. And I want to, but I'm just not about to be out there in 20-degree weather. So I love this stadium idea. I love how active everything is going to be around it. The apartments that are going to be around it. There's going to be a small indoor music arena. There's going to be all kinds of shops, bars, and restaurants. They're going to have an amphitheater that sits up to 20,000 people. And then the stadium will change colors, as you already see on the screen. Right now it's burgundy because it's at night. Apparently, I don't know what technology it is, but the stadium will be white during the day, and then at night probably burgundy like that. Just the whole stadium, the entire outside. That is crazy. I've never even heard of that. I don't know if some other stadium has done that before. I didn't even know that technology existed, where you could just change the entire facade of the stadium. I completely missed that meeting that the whole world had when we discussed that new technology coming out. Either way, I'm super excited. This sounds great. Y'all gonna get me to pull up to some games now. Now, me personally, I prefer it to still be in Maryland. I have family in Maryland. I don't think I have any family in Virginia. But either way, coming from Atlanta, I'm gonna have to fly anyway, so I'll just be flying to Virginia rather than flying to Maryland. But I know there's gonna be a huge debate, especially in these comment sections, but just overall period on Twitter everywhere, about people from Virginia being happy that it's finally in Virginia, and the fact that they've had to drive 2 hours plus through crazy traffic to get to Landover, and then now it's going to be the Maryland side complaining about having to go to Virginia side. And I'm hearing that the Virginia side, where this new stadium will be, the traffic will actually be a little less bad than what it was in Maryland. So I don't know, man. I'm gonna definitely peep the comments and see how y'all are talking about it and breaking it down, because y'all know these areas way better than I do. Again, I had to look up the pronunciation of Dumfries, and I think it's really interesting because it was reported months ago that it was going to have a roof. We knew it was going to have a roof a while ago, but then the debate was whether or not it would have a retractable roof. But maybe they have it set up in a situation to where if the weather is nice, you can open up the sides and maybe not the roof. Or maybe it's just a straight up dome where it's always going to be temperature controlled and all of that. Either way, I'm happy. I'm very happy that it has a roof. Me personally, I know there's a lot of old school people out there that want to fight a cold the whole time they're watching football. Me personally, I prefer not to. But the reason everything is so weird right now is because Dan Snyder still is not trying to pay for this stadium on his own. So before they agree on the exact location, they need to figure out how much money the state and Prince William County are willing to commit before finalizing plans to build, as reported by John Keim. John Keim also goes to say that that's why they're keeping their options open in Maryland and the District of Columbia, as well as other sites in Virginia. This is not the permanent site yet, because they're trying to figure out who's willing to put up the money to help build this stadium. Ideally, I guess they prefer this site right here that they just purchased for over $100 million. the 200 acres in Prince William County. But if Prince William County isn't willing to add any money to the stadium building process, then Dan Snyder or whoever our owner will end up being will probably try to find another space. John Keim also reported that Maryland said it would spend $400 million to develop the area around FedEx Field in Landover, Maryland, just keeping it where it is. Basically, the team would then build a dome stadium by their current home. So no matter wherever they're going, it's going to be a dome stadium. And I'm gonna break down exactly why they're so serious about having a dome stadium, even just beyond what I want it to be. Washington is still looking at land in Loudoun County near the current practice facility. I guess I should have looked up how that's pronounced as well, just in case. The team would like to return to the District of Columbia or at the RFK site, their home from 1961 to 1996, but because it's on federal land, numerous governmental hurdles currently make that a long shot, as reported by Keim as well. Virginia's legislature continues to discuss creating a stadium authority that would authorize money to help pay for a new Commander Stadium. Under one proposal, the Commanders will receive $350 million from Virginia. So right now, it looks like it's definitely between Maryland and Virginia. Virginia has a lead, even though Maryland is willing to put up $50 more million than Virginia so far. With the Commanders taking one step forward to actually purchasing 200 acres in Virginia, I would say they have the lead. But of course, we got to talk about this whole Dan Snyder situation a little later. But yeah, man, why exactly are they so fixated on making sure that it has a roof? Well, simply put, they basically want to use that stadium year round. Again, it's about to be this huge entertainment complex, all of this stuff going on around it that literally have nothing to do with football. They want people there year around. And of course, they also want people in the stadium year round. Jason Wright said, quote, "So there are considerations on making sure it's climate controlled in a way where you can have 100 events a year and have a retail hospitality complex around it that really drives commerce and drives jobs year round." Unquote. And so basically they want to be able to host the Super Bowl and things like that. When you have a climate controlled stadium, when you have like a dome or anything like that, you're far more likely to host a Super Bowl. Remember in New Jersey, February 2nd, 2014, there was a huge risk for the Super Bowl. The temperatures were in the mid 40s, which isn't terrible, but it was within hours of a snowstorm that arrived dumping 6 inches of snow before the Super Bowl. And so they like barely dodged the bullet. And then back February 6th, 2011. Several people were injured when snow and ice slid off the Cowboy Stadium roof. But luckily that was a few days before the Super Bowl, and by the time the Super Bowl came around, it got warm. But that's just even crazy, the fact that there was even snow in Dallas. But the NFL is going to do everything that they can to make sure that the Super Bowls are either in places that are warm in February, or at the very least places that have rooftop stadiums. So if you want to watch a Super Bowl in the DMV somewhere, Maryland, DC, Virginia, you're gonna have to have a dome. They're not bringing it there no matter how new the stadium is, unless it's climate controlled, because Super Bowls happen in February when it's really cold and has strong chances of snow. People out there paying thousands of dollars for tickets to sit there in negative 10-degree weather. That's crazy. Ain't no way the Super Bowl risking that. But yeah, man, I think this is really interesting because, hey, I know a large portion of the fan base, especially the ones that live in Maryland, are gonna hate this move to Virginia. So you better make sure you start winning some games. You better start making the playoffs and winning some playoff games, because I mean, already with the name situation, the new logo, new rebranding, all of the losing that's already been going on, this may literally be like the last straw for a lot of the fans that just give up on the team, period, after this. And now moving on, we got to talk about Dan Snyder. Well, it's been reported by US Today's Jared Bell that frustration from other NFL owners in Commanders owner Dan Snyder and his never-ending cascade of scandals is growing. And one owner even told Bell, quote, "We are counting votes," unquote, to potentially force him to sell the team. There have been multiple investigations, of course, into a toxic workplace environment in Washington recently. The NFL fined Snyder a record $10 million, but the pseudo suspension it levied on Snyder appears to be toothless, and they shielded him by declining to publish a written report. The latest scandal is into alleged embezzlement of ticket revenue that's supposed to be shared with the rest of the league. One owner told Bell that could be what finally pushes Snyder out. Quote, "If that happened, I think that's the nail in the coffin," unquote. Even from my opinion, as somebody that would like to move on from Dan Snyder, but I'm pretty sure he's not the only owner doing that. Hey, but when you're the one that gets caught, everybody's gonna act so surprised and, oh my god, I can't believe somebody's doing that, and they gotta throw you under the bus. Another owner said there's a sense of disappointment amongst the owners that I talk to. I don't talk to them all, but owners who come to meetings and are active, that he wasn't suspended, disappointment that Roger did not act stronger, unquote. So to force Snyder to sell, there would need to be 24 votes from the 31 owners. And that's really interesting, the fact that it's not even half. It's 24 out of 31. Also, the Commanders sent Senior Director of Player Personnel Eric Stokes and running back coach Randy Jordan as representatives to the NFL's front office and coaching diversity accelerator program. Also think that's really dope as well. And before we go, man, I mean, just to look at the picture that y'all basically been looking at this whole time I've been talking, I mean, it's going to be right off the highway, so hopefully that makes traffic a little bit smoother than it was in Maryland. It looks really fun. Again, the biggest thing for me, of course, number one was having a dome for a reason that I would actually start to go to more games, but also the fact that the stadium changes colors, like the entire stadium, like that technology is crazy. I even like the fact that they had the fireworks in the background to make it look even more fun in the picture. I respect that marketing tactic, but I mean, I just like this whole entertainment situation that they have going on. I'm not exactly sure what airport is the closest. Again, I do not know the Maryland, DC, or Virginia area that well, but hopefully it's close to an airport. I'm assuming it probably is. It can't be as bad as flying into Atlanta trying to get to like Macon. It can't be that far away from an airport, so I'm pretty sure we'd be fine as far as that goes. We'll see if this is an overall good move. I'm interested in seeing how further plans develop, more details come out, all of that type of stuff. But yeah, man, that's the end of this video. Please get in the comment section, let me know how you feel about I know there's about to be some heated debates in the comment section about this one, most notably where it is, but also there's a lot of people that don't like rooftops. Of course, get in the comment section, let me know if this is Dan Snyder's last straw for real. Is he really on the way out? Are these owners voting on getting them out like a real, leading to some actual momentum for Dan Snyder being forced to sell the team? Will he be forced to sell the team before this beautiful stadium is made? All of those are really interesting questions, so definitely get in the comment section, let me know. I try to read as many comments and reply to as many comments as I can. I try to at least read them all, but I've just been so busy, especially with these film sessions that y'all are about to start getting, so be patient with me, but I will be in that comment section. And of course, please leave a like on this video if you liked it, if you learned anything. Also, shouts out to all of my sponsors, especially my Pro Bowl sponsors whose name you see scrolling on the screen right now, man. I really appreciate all of the support, man. Catch y'all later. I'm out.